Crews from outside of Pennsylvania have all converged in our region tonight to try and restore power for the thousands still in the dark. To help take a closer look at this, I'm joined by Kelly Palmer. She's the Regional Affairs Director with PPL Electric. So thanks for being here, Kelly. My first question for you is, I know that crews have been working around the clock to provide some relief for these people, as we know that there's still about 50,000 without power right now. How many crews are actively working at this time?
Hi, Alex. Thank you. So first and foremost, thank you so much for this opportunity to get this information and the message out. We know that being without power is frustrating. We know that it's disruptive, but please know that we are in this with our customers. This is an all hands on deck restoration, and our crews are working day and night, and we will not stop until every last customer is back in power. We have currently more than 2,000 people supporting our restoration efforts across our entire service territory. And that includes our PPL employees out in the field, in the back office, contractors, foresters, damage assessors. And we also have mutual assistance crews in from our sister utilities in Rhode Island and Kentucky, as well as Canada, Florida, Texas, and Alabama.
And I know that this was one of the top 10 storms that you have all seen throughout the company's history. Are there specific areas that crews are working on or focusing that recovery effort on right now?
So within PPL service territory, the Harrisburg and Lancaster areas were some of the hardest hit geographically. But when we say those hardest hit areas, what we mean are generally those locations where we're seeing the most extensive damage. So the most extensive tree damage and infrastructure damage. We're talking about things like broken poles, downed wires, and areas where crews have had to do things like clear trees and even in some cases rebuild sections of the electric system, our poles, wires, infrastructure before power can be safely restored.
So what are some of the challenges then that those crews have been facing? I mean, if you're looking at some of these areas that you just mentioned, it pretty much looks like there is damage widespread throughout almost every street. So I'm sure this has been challenging. I know that there's 2,000 crews out there, but what are some of those specific challenges?
Yeah, the event's been significant, the damage is significant, and it's widespread. So the biggest challenge right now is that the outages that are remaining are often the most complicated outages to resolve. And again, they involve that significant damage, broken poles, downed wires, widespread tree damage, or locations that may just be difficult for us to access. And in many cases, that requires multiple repairs that need to be made before the power can actually be restored safely. The crews may need to remove the trees, replace the poles. Again, they may need to rebuild sections of wire and infrastructure. One other thing to keep in mind here is that restoration is a step-by-step process. So it may be the case that our forestry crews need to clear debris. Then we need to get damage assessors out there to evaluate the damage. And then we need to make sure that we have the right materials and the right equipment brought in before our line crews can actually complete their required repairs. We do understand that these extended outages are frustrating. We appreciate the patience that our customers are giving us, but safety does remain our top priority. And please just remember, our crews are working around the clock to make sure that these repairs can be done in a safe manner and that we are restoring power to every single customer.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know that crews also had to restore power to, hospitals and other emergency facilities as well before tackling some of those residences. So do we have an estimate right now of when power will be restored to most of the area? I know it might be difficult to say generally.
Yeah, so we are still in a multi-day restoration effort. So what I would say, the best advice that I have is that we are encouraging our customers to stay informed. And the best way to do that is through checking our outage map. Download our mobile app if you don't have it. Also sign up for outage alerts because that's where you're going to find the most up-to-date restoration updates. Because when our crews go out on site, they assess the damage, or if they start making repairs, that's where those updates are going to come from. Also, just if you have any medical needs that rely on electricity, make alternate arrangements, call 911 if your health or safety is at risk, and just we're also encouraging our customers to check on elderly family members, neighbors, anybody else who may be in need of assistance at this time.
Kelly Palmer, thank you so much for joining us today and breaking this all down for us. And we know the crews are working diligently, so thank you to you and all of your crews as well.
Thank you.
All right, now let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Tom Russell to talk about what we can expect in our forecast.